All right, this is gonna be our last story. It's about Chris Evans
What is it?
and Steven Spielberg. Spielberg. Spielberg.
Oh, what did you say?
Spielberg.
All right.
Steven Spielberg was quoted a couple of weeks ago saying that superhero movies are gonna go the same way as the Western, which is basically, everybody got tired of them and they weren't as exciting anymore. Everybody got tired, and now they're kind of like a thing of the past. Now and then we get a good Western movie, especially from Tarantino.
Cowboys vs. Aliens. No, I was kidding.
Django Unchained,
Django
man.
was fucking.
Yeah.
Oof,
That was it.
that was an amazing movie.
Now imagine if John Wayne would had some type of cameo in that. If he was still alive, oh my God, the
John
ultimate,
Wayne Pilgrims.
the ultimate Western it would be.
Yes, but as we said though, there's only like a few westerns nowadays are actually good.
Yeah.
But he's saying that basically that's what's going to happen with superhero movies. Chris Evans basically responded saying that one of the things, I'm just paraphrasing because I don't want to read the article, but one of the things he said was basically with technology advancing, they're going to see a way to use his characters with the new technology, because the only really people that get challenged by these kind of things are superheroes. Back in the day, they didn't make that many superhero movies because technology wasn't up to date enough for them to make it.
You are right.
But with technology advancing, they can create new superheroes or use superheroes in the past with their powers that they're supposed to have.
With all these things, you're going to wonder, all right, what would happen if you put this person up against that? You know what I mean? You're always going to think that.
We're getting to the point where you'll be able to see any superpower or any superhero come to life.
That's where I
and
disagree
look legit.
That superheroes will be old. No, I think
But
they.
the other thing he mentioned with superhero movies specifically was with directors coming and putting their own twist to it, putting different themes to it, and grounding them more to the type of just a human drama with superheroes involved is going to keep superheroes alive, like James Gunn did with Guardians of the Galaxy, the Russo brothers did with Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and just the Hulk, which is really like him trying to figure out what to do, and he just happens to become a green giant monster.
You're just saying
like the topics of the movies can be different, but they can actually like the movies can evolve by having superheroes.
You just gotta do it right. You gotta do it right.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this: Steven Spielberg is right on the money, because westerns were pretty much infecting the movie industry in their time. What happens if you have too much of something? 2016 is slowly approaching us, people. 2016 is gonna overflow with all these superhero movies. I mentioned this a couple years ago to you, actually, when you and I talked about it. I said superheroes are going to die out. They are. They're like the superhero genre of what it is today. We're at its peak right now, and it's going to go down.
It's definitely the golden age of superheroes.
It's the golden age of superheroes right now. But hey, guess what? Just like how he said, Steven Spielberg said, in order to keep it alive is to make it more human-like with drama.
Oh no, that's what Chris Evans said.
That's what Chris Evans said.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was about to disagree with that part, because I do disagree with that. Because guess what? All the westerns did the same thing. They all were just different stories, and they're human-like stories, and they died out. Why? Because it wasn't because of the stories. It was because of the style of movie. And come on, how many times can you see John Wayne be the hero? How many times do you have to see Thor be the hero? How many times do you have to see Thor go up against this guy and Hulk against this guy?
I'll get to that.
You get tired of it. It's too much. People get tired of it. It's like having peanut butter and jelly every single day. You're gonna get tired of it eventually. You want something else.
I'll get to that. But all right, Dayana, what do you think?
I think they're gonna become more popular for a while, but people are gonna get tired of them.
Okay.
RJ? I don't think so. They're made for a reason. They're made for you to always want to see them do something, no matter what it is. That's just me. I always think like, all right, what would happen if you put this guy against this guy, or this new type of technology? How are, for example, the Avengers gonna, hold up against it? Or I don't know.
I'm not saying that superheroes are going to die out as superheroes. I'm talking about it's the platform of the big screen movies that's going to die out as, and being the pretty much the pinnacle of Hollywood right now. It's superheroes. It's Marvel. I think, in my honest opinion, the only reason why we even have a lot of these movies, of course, it was a big dream to see this in a big screen. That's why it's so popular. However, think about it from a business standpoint. No one buys comics anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's the real reason why they did this. We now have the technology to do this. Right. We still continue however, this is what proves my point. Look at the comic books once Avengers came out. Now all of the comics that Marvel comes out with is pretty much based around the movies. Mm-hmm. It's not the other way around anymore, because comics are outdated. They are a thing of the past. They're becoming obsolete. Superheroes as an idea of characters will never die, because hell, if it was going to, it would have died 20 years ago before we were even born.
Yeah,
but
you're right. You're right, being based upon the movies, but it's different. There's
the platform will change.
Many different sections of different.
The platform of creativity.
Well,
and
I want to get to this.
They still have the comics where, okay, this is our own thing,
right?
But this is the thing, dude.
I do see stuff that is, okay, this is from a movie.
That's, Tony Stark from Iron Man. That looks just like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
looks just like him.
Well, let me get to this, because I disagree with what you were saying, because the thing with westerns were there was set on a time that you can't do that much stories. You're right. There's so much you can do with John Wayne when he's stuck with a horse and that, and you're in the Old West. The thing with superheroes is you can have any time of existence and have a superhero movie. You have so much of a range. I think superhero movies are not so much of just a genre like horror or comedy or romance. They're kind of like a sub. Like you can have any movie.
So it's kind of like Mario in a play.
Kinda, because you can have
references.
You can have a horror movie with a superhero movie.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time.
Spawn.
I mean, just look at Spawn. You can have a fucking awesome, gory, just violent.
I'm waiting for that
horror movie.
Even Freddy vs. Jason was like a superhero movie. The way
that was the other thing. There's a lot of characters that are like superheroes, like James Bond. He's bigger than life. No other human can do stuff like that. He
could be an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. for all we know.
He's better than any agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'm going to say this. I would love to. I vote to have a Western superhero movie.
They could do
that.
How
awesome would that be?
Jonah Hex. He's a Western that has it's all set in the Western times, man. And that's the thing with superhero movies. You can have any genre go with it. You can have a drama with it. You can have a comedy, which most of them are in Marvel.
That's why they had Cowboys vs. Aliens. I thought it was going to be stupid. It was pretty good.
I honestly thought it was awful. I didn't like it.
Really?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it? You guys suck, man.
Anyway. But okay, you haven't seen that one yet. But I'm going to use it as a reference.
I heard Ant-Man was hilarious.
Ant-Man was hilarious. But not only that, it was a heist movie. If you watch it, it's a legit heist movie. It has nothing to do with... I mean, yeah, they got to save the planet. But it's not like the other movies that they had.
You're overthinking this shit.
It was a heist movie. What was the biggest thing of it? It was a heist.
To save the world.
Yeah, but it was a heist.
And the only man that could fit to do it was Ant-Man.
And what comic book story arc isn't just a big heist to save the planet?
Did you see it?
No, but pretty much every story arc is a big heist to save the planet.
Look at Daredevil. He doesn't deal with any of that. That's a drama. That's a very drama, just almost a kung fu type of TV series.
When I watched Ant-Man, I focused on Ant-Man. I focused on, not Hank Pym, but I focused on...
What was he doing? He was stealing.
What he was...
A heist.
What he was meant to do. Huh? Hank Pym knew he was a robber. Okay. That's why he chose him to do this.
What's your point?
My point is, you're overthinking, it's a heist movie.
But it was a heist movie.
Okay, so...
My point is you can make a superhero movie that can be a heist movie as well.
And I thought you were dissing on it.
No, his whole point was he was using it as an example.
You can make any superhero movie.
All right, now we're even now because you're
on the same page.
Yeah, you misunderstood me before, and now I misunderstood you.
Now
enough of this.
Now we have with a filthy as comedy like Deadpool coming out.
Which I'm most excited for.
Exactly. You can get people excited for these movies if you just change the tone of them. Now, like I said, I'm sure DC is gonna have their own kind of flavor to it. And one of the things that's really intriguing me is like the Wonder Woman movie, which is gonna be like war in Greek mythology,
Mm-hmm.
which is gonna be fucking awesome.
I
And that's
want-
an
I
entire
want-
different.
I want Wonder
kind of
Woman
TV.
so badly. I'm tired of Batman.
Hmm.
Screw Superman. I want Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
Screw
man.
those
Like
two.
all these movies are taking different tones, and as it's evolving, I think they're gonna evolve as well. Eventually, like Guardians of the Galaxy was all like
It was obsolete. That no one even heard of that. Really, that was so obscure.
no one should have liked it, but it was fucking amazing. I could say it's way better than any of the comics from.
I think the whole
Guardians of the
purpose of
Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty much Marvel saying to everybody around the world, saying, "Guess what? We have you in the palm of our hands. We gave you a movie about a bunch of people, misfits, from a comic book that happened like 20 years ago that you never even heard of,
Well, how
and
many
you loved it."
how many people heard of
But
it?
they did a good job.
Oh yeah, I'm not
that's the
saying that.
underline on
I'm
it.
just
They
saying
did an
that was probably the
amazing
point of
job.
Guardians of the Galaxy. That's Marvel saying, "Hey, we got balls."
How
We
many
can do it."
people heard of Inhumans before they announced they're coming out a movie
Yeah.
of it?
Barely anybody, and unless you
No
actually
one.
paid attention, like
Right,
unless you were
exactly.
actually part of the fan base that of the core readers, you wouldn't have heard of that.
And like
'Cause
now,
to be
the new-
honest with you, I didn't until I did some research. I'm like, okay,
Right.
cool. They're,
no, like the new Spider-Man movie, that's gonna be a bit more based on like a high school kid. So this is gonna be like an entirely different movie for a superhero.
Here's
And as it keeps going, I think it's gonna keep evolving, and you're gonna get different kind of movies, maybe some even religious movies, because a lot of the characters are religious. Like Daredevil, he's really religious. Nightcrawler, he's really religious. Like, there's so many different themes you can take with superheroes. I just don't see it dying. Maybe I can see dying specific superheroes, like maybe Captain America or Iron Man, or maybe even like, I don't think Batman's gonna go away, but I do think like they could get tired of Superman.
you think you think he's not gonna go
when you mentioned
No,
Spider-Man.
because what I'm saying about Batman is his name alone just is always gonna be a blockbuster.
Mhm.
He goes way back. Superman, the problem with him is since he's so much bigger than life and his powers are so like beyond,
OP.
there's so much you can do with that.
overpowered.
Like, what's gonna challenge Superman at this point? But what do you want to say?
When you mentioned Spider-Man,
Yeah.
that goes back to my point when I think that people are going to get tired of it, because my own personal feelings against Spider-Man is that I don't care who directed it. I don't care who's now playing Peter Parker. I'm sick and tired of Spider-Man. I'm tired of
That's
seeing him
fair.
on the screen. Which means if I'm thinking that, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more other people thinking the same thing as time goes on.
But will
'Cause
you
we're
go see
tired.
this new
Yeah,
Spider-Man?
I'm actually
movie?
excited for him
No,
in
probably
Civil War.
I'll see it
No?
if everyone else is seeing it and I have nothing else to do. I'm not
Okay.
going to see it out of excitement. I'm going to see it out of boredom.
I'm excited.
Well, I'm
because
excited.
this is the first time it's gonna be done
Because
right. At least that's what I think.
I'm
Maybe we
excited.
thought that
sick and
every
tired
single
of
time.
seeing the same characters
No,
on TV,
Like,
just
even
like
even when he was kind
even
of
Batman. I'm sick and tired of Batman.
But-
spoiler alert. Even though he was kind of cameoed in Ant-Man, I was like,
Yeah.
did you catch that? Like,
They mentioned
Like,
something.
I'm just like, I can just see people getting tired of seeing the same characters on the screen
Oh yeah.
all the time. It gets old. Now, I think the best way to keep the genre alive in the big screen isn't by changing constantly or anything like that. It's to give the public a break. Don't overload us with a bunch of
we were
movies.
just talking
We were
about
talking about
this
it
with
with
music.
It's the same thing. It's all about moderation. And if you give everybody a friggin' funnel of and just pouring down the beer of Marvel movies into everyone's mouth, you're gonna regurgitate it. It's
Well,
going to be like that. It's 100% fact.
I do think eventually they're gonna slow down,
And I hope to God they
but
That's after this list.
I think they're
Yeah.
still
They
gonna
are
be
just-
blockbusters.
this generation, they
They're
are just
still
beginning
gonna be like
with all this.
huge. It's just right now they're realizing we can make great movies with superheroes.
Like, remember
You know
before
what I mean?
all the Iron Man movies, you heard Iron Man movies coming out, you're like, oh shit, they're actually making an Iron Man. Oh shit, they're actually making Captain America. Of course, right now we're used to it, but before it's like,
Yeah, just
I
but
think-
there's
you know.
plenty of other things
The thing
they
is,
can still put on the big
I think
screen.
the moment that superhero movies showed that they can be more than that was when The Dark Knight was nominated for an Oscar as
Yeah.
the best picture of the year.
Yep.
No one ever in history ever thought that a superhero movie would be nominated for an Oscar as the best picture
Now
of the year.
I never really cared about Batman because
It doesn't seem that. I'm just saying that movie
Business-wise,
took
yeah.
people's attention and it made them realize,
We can
okay,
make money
you know
off
what?
this stuff.
You can make some serious shit
There's
with this
an
movies.
audience. I'm just saying,
If it's
after
done right.
2016, which is going to be the year of superhero movies, it's going to be. That's going to be the peak.
I think 2019 is going to be.
I don't know what the schedule is for
Or
2019.
maybe 17.
But 2016
16,
right
definitely
now,
16 too.
2016 is going
Bro.
to be, to me, so from my knowledge so far, I don't know how much you read far into it because you're mentioning 2019 now. It's almost the end of a decade right now. We're
Pretty
still
much
halfway
the
through.
next 5 fucking years. How about that?
Like I just think that 2016 is going to be the
Shut
year that the popularity peaked of movies of the superhero genre. Now they can still be major blockbuster films, just don't every year constantly get a bunch of superhero movies.
I mean, definitely next
Take
year
a
is going.
break.
It's definitely the year that's gonna define if this is going to work and if they're gonna keep doing it.
Right.
But I think it's gonna keep going because the movies that are coming out next year, they're not out. They're kind of like whatever movies. They're like legit movies that people want to see. Starting with Deadpool, like that's
Yep.
how we're gonna start. And to think that Deadpool, such an like, I'm not a fan of Deadpool, and you know that.
Yeah.
I don't mind him, but even I'm excited. I'm fucking going nuts over this movie because it looks so fucking good.
Right.
Just having Colossus in it and having all this different shit in it, like it looks so legit and so good. They're starting off the year with this movie, like that's just the beginning, and then right afterwards you're gonna get Batman vs Superman, which is something that billions
Everyone's
of people
wanting to
have
see.
been waiting for, because they've never been in the same movie together, and
Nope.
this is just
That's
groundbreaking.
what I'm saying. Never have done it
And
yet.
right after that, they're gonna bring Captain America versus fucking Tony Stark on a fucking movie, Civil War. That's what I mean. Like it just keeps getting better and better. And the way that year is ending, it's gonna be ending with fucking Suicide Squad, which, like I told you, a lot of people are even more excited about that movie because of the Joker and Harley Quinn.
I'm not.
Like I said, some people,
Yeah, I know.
but a lot of people are excited about that. So realizing that all these movies are coming out and the beginning and the end are fucking like movies that should be the main attraction in different other years, it's insane, dude.
I see your point, but we're talking about movies in the golden age of the genre.
Yeah. But the
The
like I said,
audience
this is just
wants
the
this
entree,
right
though.
now. The audience wants this right now. That's why
Mhm.
they're doing it with a big plethora of these movies on one specific time. However, with every peak, there's a decline.
Mhm.
After this year, I almost guarantee you there will be a decline in popularity of the superhero genre. Because for many years it's been building up that, oh, there's a lot of money in this. However, look at all the trends that happened in before and yesteryear.
I
Look
hear
at
you.
it. Like it's
I
going to
don't
happen.
think-
It's the
But I don't think it's gonna be next year. It's not gonna be. If I see it coming, it's gonna be 2020 when it just all goes down, and then all
you're,
the
you're
movies.
probably
just-
right. If you
Like I
want to
said,
make a
5 years.
timeline, if you want to make a timeline, I'd say about 2020 is probably when it's going
Because
to kind of die out
right after
completely.
that, like to think, okay, those are just gonna be like the main events in all this year coming up.
Every decade has their
Not
own thing.
even, because the year after that, they're gonna have the new Wonder Woman, a new Batman, and I believe it's gonna be Justice League.
I don't know.
Not to mention, they're gonna have Infinity War Part 1 coming out
I think
with Spider-Man.
I think it's all gonna last a while. Like, look at all the other
and Guardians of the
movies.
Galaxy too.
Look at all the other movies like Star Wars and all
Well,
that.
Star Wars always took a long time between sequels.
True.
Like Star Wars, like between the first one and the second one, there was like 4 or 5 years apart, and we
Yeah.
never saw any
Was it?
spin-offs or no, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe the
Episode 1 and 2.
I
Wait,
believe this.
which 1 and 2?
Okay, when I say the
No,
first
no,
one,
episode one.
when
and
I
two.
when I say about the first one, I'm talking about the original
That's what
Okay,
I
Star
asked
Thor.
you.
Wars.
Thought
Episodes
so.
1 and 2.
See, I know this language.
Yes, the
No,
original
I-
Star Wars.
no,
I'm sorry,
I said
episode 3 and 4, or
Yeah.
what
4
was
and
it? Oh,
5.
4 and 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna
I
say
didn't
shut
know
up
what you
about
were
that
talking about.
because I'm sorry. When I say the first Star Wars, I mean
No,
the
I
first
get
Star
it.
Wars.
I get it. I get that.
Yes,
That's why I asked you. Are you talking about episodes or are you talking about the?
the original.
original,
The
okay.
70s. I believe the
It's
second one.
about 3 years between the first and second.
Right, and I believe the
And
last
two,
one.
2 years with the second and third.
Really? Was it
80,
that?
81 and 83, I believe.
I'm not
81
too
was
sure.
Empire Strikes Back.
I think we're both going for IMDb right now, aren't we?
And,
This is happening
and
right
Return of
now.
Jedi
I'm-
was 83. I'm pretty sure Jedi was 83.
Yeah, I don't think you're that
I
far
think
off.
I think this is a little different though, because back then it was a little bit harder to create this kind of movies. So I can see them taking such a long time. Plus,
But then-
Star Wars was in the movies for what?
And then it took like
a
almost.
whole year.
What's
I
that?
think? The first Star Wars movie was in the theaters for almost a whole year.
Oh yeah, because
It was making box,
So
box
until
office
it
stuff.
came
yeah.
out of the theater, then they started
I
producing.
remember when my mom first saw it. There was no other movie like the opening scene with the Star Destroyer. Everyone was like, "Oh, like oh my fuck!" So it ever since that, the people fell in love, and it was the technology that day, that at that time.
Yeah,
You
I
know
mean
what I mean?
that's what I'm saying. It was on theaters for a whole year, and then they started going into production. So seeing that 1 year was just showing the movie, and then 2 years to make it, it's
And-
not that off. You know
and,
what I
and
mean?
they did spin out like
No,
everyone was
that-
like, "What's with episode 1, 2, and 3?" Like almost 20 years later.
But that was my point, though. It's like they had space in between the movies, which
Right.
made you not
What
overkill
1, 2,
on
and
it.
3? You like
Well, 1, 2,
episode
and 3.
1,
I'm
2,
sorry,
3?
they all three of
They're
them
awful.
sucked. I'm sorry.
There's
I think they
parts
all
that are really
sucked.
good,
Come on.
but a lot of the things do suck. Like
Yeah.
fucking Jar Jar was just awful.
Okay, fine, but
He was so
don't let that
stupid.
shit on the movie. Whatever.
Yeah, well, he
I'm
did.
sorry, the movie was awful.
It
I thought it
ruined-
was awful.
It ruined the movie for me.
I thought it was so
what
bad.
I love about it
Darth
is the
Maul.
pod racing.
Darth
Darth
Maul was
Maul.
awesome.
But as a double play
It's a
with
shame he's dead.
And Liam Neeson.
another double play with
They should.
Darth Maul, no pun intended. They killed him off in the first movie. He should. have
Hey,
been
they should. They
throughout
should
all
keep.
three.
They should do that one comic where they actually found him, gave him prosthetic legs, and he lived
heard
on
about
to be a
that.
badass.
Yeah, every 3 years the Star Wars movies came out.
Yeah.
But see, that's perfect
Was
amount
that
of
right
time.
with the originals?
I believe so. Yeah, 77, 80,
But look
and
at,
83.
like I said, those times were a little bit harder to make those movies, though.
It was, but see, I'm just talking. I'm just saying that moderation's key. You
Oh.
don't. I'm sorry. It's. I think it's
I
gonna
believe
happen.
they can get fatigue from them, but
They're not.
I just don't think it's gonna happen next year or the next
I'm
year.
not gonna say it's gonna die out completely because it has its audience. We were
You know-
talking about a genre who has a
you know
niche,
why-
hardcore audience.
you
They
know
have
why I think-
conventions made after it.
You know why I think in 5 years it's gonna happen? In 5 years, Justice League 1 and 2 are gonna be done, which is one whole movie. Infinity War is gonna be done. Most of the trilogies for Marvels are gonna be done. So they're gonna leave us with something that's just gonna be like
What else is there to do? Kind of.
not just what else.
Marvel
is there
versus
to do,
DC
but
movie.
it's kind of like
That would
you
be
mean we gotta.
blockbuster history right there.
It's like you mean we gotta restart everything again. At least for Marvel, we kind of gonna have to restart because you're gonna have an entire new set of
But
characters.
once
Korean
they do
Hulk.
that, once they do that,
That's
it's
what I
all
mean,
downhill.
that's what I
Because
mean.
you
And
don't
there's so
have
much
to.
you're gonna be able to do, but I do think there's gonna be new superheroes and different stories that are gonna be on their own. Are going to be blockbusters. I don't know about DC what they're going to do after their set movies that they're gonna release, but who knows? I mean,
I also want to say that a new Hellboy movie will be amazing. I heard they're actually
the
signing up
guy's
for that.
trying
No,
so hard to get it done.
What's his name?
Ron Perlman?
Yeah,
Ron Perlman?
I heard he actually said they're not doing it though.
I heard he actually had a
No.
petition on his Facebook, and everyone
He
that
ha-
liked it.
He wants to do it.
He wants to do it.
Everyone
last thing
wants to
last,
see it.
Literally, last thing I saw about it is that
I
he
love the
said
Hellboy
himself
movies.
that they're not doing it.
I love them.
They're saying they don't want to because the budget for it is $260 million.
Fucking god.
And the studio was like, it's nice what you're trying to do, but that's $260 million you're not going to make in the box office.
No, it's true. That's too much. Even Avengers didn't cost that much to make.
Well, They did, but they make that in the opening weekend. You know what I mean? Both Avengers made almost 200.
Oh, I
well,
don't
the first
think-
one
I'm
made
talking about
200
the budget.
million.
I'm not talking about the box office. I'm talking
No,
about
yeah,
the budget.
the budget was 200 and
I'm
something.
looking that up right now. Keep talking.
All right, but
Don't
yeah.
have any dead air.
Avengers is different. They make that much money as soon as they open, but
But look at the
Hellboy
time we live in.
doesn't.
We just
Look at
take
the
a
time we live
moment
in
and look
now.
at Dayana, and she's like,
She's just like
cool story, bro.
nerds.
nerds.
When are they
Oh, wow.
making a
You're
Hello
right.
Kitty?
Actually, Avengers is actually 279 million for Avengers: Age of Ultron.
But they made that like in 2 weeks.
About that.
So it doesn't matter. Like in the whole run, Hellboy did not make that much money.
No,
And it's
but,
not
but
going
also
to.
you also got to think of the time that it came out in. It came out like this. It was in that president time of before the big trend happened.
Yeah.
All right, like it was
But
like
even now though, I don't think that many people really like. I know you do. I know you do, but I know she doesn't. And what they need is all four of us to be at the theater to make
Right.
$260.
I'm sure.
Speaking
Dayana would
of,
see
speaking of
Hellboy if
her,
it
she
came
had
out.
something to say until we got.
What do you
all
got to
nerdy
say,
again.
Diana?
Well, I do think people
We
are
don't
gonna
care.
get tired of them, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna die out because I think they'll always find a way to.
I
make
think they're gonna start
superhero.
making less money. But I think
Yeah.
that's-
That's what I'm saying.
I think
It's
they're
gonna
gonna
die
still
out a
crank
little
'em
bit.
out.
It's gonna have a stalemate. You know, eventually it's just gonna hey, we're just preying on this niche audience, just like horror movies.
You know what's, to me, the one threat that I see coming, and it's trying to get out there, but it's not making it, is the video game movies. If they can make that one awesome video game movie, that's gonna be the new threat. That's gonna be what kills the superhero movies.
I doubt it's ever gonna happen.